wouldn't. One of the impacts of trauma is shame, because children are narcissists by nature. When I say narcissist, I don't mean in a pathological negative sense. I mean they think it's all about them.
The world just revolves around me.
Exactly. So if bad things are happening to me, it must be a bad person.
What if they say, well, it wasn't that big of a deal? This thing that happened back in the day, I was a kid and...
If a 5-year-old came to you and you were the uncle, this guy did such and such to me, would you say to them, oh, no big deal?
No.
But you see, that's what you're saying to yourself.
Right.
When you say that it's no big deal, you're saying to the 5-year-old that was hurt, it doesn't matter. In other words, there's no self-compassion there. What you would never say to anybody else, you're saying to yourself. And one of the impacts of trauma is lack of self-compassion. I see it all the time. And so when somebody says to me, no big deal, I say, okay, take any other child in your position, plug them into that situation, and tell them it's no big deal. And of course, I wouldn't. One of the impacts of trauma is shame.
So regarding that's a video I just posted, I just wanted to share you. I just wanted to share with you how I know it to be true. I'm gonna share an example at the end for you. It's gonna be a short story of what actually happened at work yesterday. Very interesting. It's a long story. I'm gonna try and make it nice and short for you. So what I wanted to say is it's so easy for us to dismiss our emotions because we've been through so much already, and yeah, we think we're strong, we survive a lot, so why should this now be an issue? I remember even when I got diagnosed, my doctor did ask me, so why or what do you think causes all of this? And I said, I think it's because I had a difficult life. And then she said, yeah, that right there is why you need to see a therapist, because you need to dig deep and and explain and see and pick up exactly what it is or what are the root causes, because you can't just generalize it and say you've had a hard life. But to me, saying I had a hard life was like a complete answer, because I believed, everybody has had a tough life. So to me, it felt like if I sit and dwell on it and talk about it, then I'm being weak, I'm being a crybaby. Why should I do that? It happens to everybody. I'm no different. Which is something that we do a lot, dismissing our emotions. I even have a term that I normally use, and I notice some other people use it too. When you get into situations like this and you say, nobody's gonna die, I should be fine, so I'll survive, which is such a big way of dismissing our emotions, because whatever you're going through, just because nobody's going to die, it doesn't mean it's not hurting you. It doesn't mean that you're not in pain. And by you not acknowledging those feelings, it means you're just piling things up inside, piling up emotions. And unfortunately, later on in life, they do take a front seat in your decision-making skills. And yeah, you just keep yourself in these bad cycles, and you see things not going forward, you see yourself stuck, especially in relationships, because you keep on doing the same thing, making the same type of decisions, putting yourself in the same situations. So yeah, back to my example. So what happened is, I'm gonna have to change the people's names because I can't really use their names. So I'm gonna have Dr. A, Dr. B, Sister A, and Sister C. Then I'm gonna have a lab technician. The first one will be lab technician A, and the second one will be lab technician B. So this is my picture one, first thing. So what happens here is, the ladies from the lab, they come in, they're here to take some samples from patients, and the other one is like looking extra nice today. She's really pretty with her heels and a nice suit, and everybody's complimenting her on how good she looks. It's all fun and games. And then there comes Sister A, who is a jokester, by the way. She's just joking all the time. So what she says is, you look really nice today, compliments her. And then she adds jokingly that the Dr. A is married, maybe you came for Dr. B. And then we laugh as we were around, but Dr. B was not around at the moment. And then they do what they needed to do and go back to the lab. Then later, there's only now Dr. B and lab technician A. We later learned with the story from him later on. So now he tells us that what happened now here, they were back to take some samples again, and then he, like he normally does, says something to her about her looks jokingly, and then she responds very harshly to him, telling him to back off in a way. Don't know the exact words that were used. And then Dr. B feels offended, like, how do you think I'm flirting? This is me, and I always joke. And then it offended him, and she felt, okay, what's going on? Maybe I should just keep it professional from here on, because people, they can take advantage of you. And now, okay, Dr. B does not say anything to her, and she just lets it be. But of course, it's there inside, boiling or piling up or cooking. And then later on, we had to call them again for some samples. Okay, the doctor actually told me, please phone the lab to come and collect some samples. And then I phoned them, and then they come, and then they collect the samples, and then now they have to sit and wait because the patient file is not open yet. And the longer they wait, now they start to get irritated. And now the lab technician B, she says, and now I knew this was directed to me because I'm the one who made the call, and she knew it was me. And then she, not looking at me, is saying, you must be ready when you call us. You can't just call us into a war when your guns are not even loaded. You must, when you call us for war, you must be ready for war. I did take offense, but I was like, okay. I told her it was me who called, but I only called because the doctor told me to call. I don't even know for which patient we were phoning for. And then now Nessie comes in and informs the doctor, hey, did you hear what they say? And then the doctor says, no, what do they say? Then she explains, they say you must be ready with your guns. They must be loaded when you come to war. You can't just call us to come when you're not ready. Doctor asks, what do you mean? And she says, no, the ladies from the lab, they said, she didn't say me, she said, lab technician B said this. And it means when you call them to come and draw the blood, you must already have your stickers and everything. And then the doctor responds harshly, telling them to back off. And that caught my attention. Like, what? It was not like him, because normally he's also a jokester, joking all the time. And I was like, ooh, what they said actually had him, and now he's hitting back. And then we continue most working. Then later, lab technician B says to him, "Oh, doctor, aren't you going to apologize for what you said earlier?" And now I could see that, okay, she did get offended. And then doctor says, "No, okay, I'm sorry then. I apologize if you got offended." And I could see the apology was not even real. And then, okay, they again leave. And then later on, I asked doctor, "So now you're going to use the method of sending a message and it gets delivered and retrieved, and then you're just going to delete it." He's like, what do you mean? I'm like, what you did to the ladies that were here earlier, you told them what you wanted to say and it hit hard, and then later you just covered it up with an apology that was not even an apology. And then he says, "Yeah, sister, you noticed." And then he started telling us where it stems from, about how she spoke to him earlier on when he was trying to make a joke with her. And I'm like, it hits me. Oh, so and then I remembered the moment in picture A when the joking sister was telling her that she is maybe dressed up for him, and he was not even there, so he's not even aware of the whole situation. So now he is reacting to her being rude for something that happened earlier on when he was not even in the picture. Now see how if she, lab technician A, had addressed it with the joking sister, the joking nurse, that, "Hey, what you said, I didn't like it. What do you mean I'm dressed up for him, you know? I say something, normally dressed up like this," or whatever. Maybe they might have, talked it out and sorted it out. The other one might have explained, "Hey, I was just joking. Don't take it so personal. It was a joke." Maybe it would have ended there. But because I think maybe she dismissed her feelings because we were all laughing, it was a joke. So she maybe thought, maybe I'm reading too much into it. But then because the feelings were still in there, deep down, when now Dr. B came to her like that, it triggered her and she had to, defend herself. "I'm not really, interested. I'm not really here for you like you might think." And then him as well, instead of addressing it right there and then, kept the feelings inside and waited for an opportunity to hit back. And now when lab technician B came into the picture and started saying these things, he saw it as his opportunity to hit back. And he didn't even realize that now he was bleeding on a wrong person, someone who was not even there when they had their own small quarrel, or whatever you want to call it. So now, in this whole picture, there's still the minor victims, which is us. Me, who also got affected a bit, because I did have some feelings as well when she was saying these things to me, but indirectly. And then went on to the other nurse C, who also had to now pass the message from lab tech A and lab tech B and Dr. B, because they were not talking to each other directly as well. The other one saying, "Tell them I said this," and the other one just, "Tell him I said this." So she was also a minor victim in a way, because she was now caught in the whole thing, which she didn't even know what was happening. And then later, I realized, lab tech A was actually being defensive, and now She was defending herself, and it came out wrong because she was in her emotions. And then, because of that, now there's these minor victims as well. So I want you to see how childhood trauma can affect the decisions that you make later in life, because it does. And unfortunately, the victims are not going to be the people that hurt you. The victims are going to be people that you are surrounded with. Your partner, your business partners, your colleagues, in big way and small ways, and your children. Those are the ones that get affected the most, and those are the ones that are going to carry the heavy load and pass it to their own children if they don't get it sorted out. And I'm not saying the minor victims, I'm not dismissing their emotions too, because you are going to explode everywhere at some point in your life. You find yourself taking out to the people that are mopping the floors at the mall, the taxi driver, random people that you meet everywhere. You find people having to tiptoe around you at work because you are always so explosive in your reactions. I'm just not trying to shame anybody, but I'm just trying to make you realize that not healing or dealing with these emotions, it's not a form of being strong. And I'm not saying in any way, shape or form you should sit and dwell on this and cry and feel sorry for yourself. No. There's so much help out there on how to deal and help yourself moving forward. So lastly, I want you to say, please be aware of who you are bleeding over. Look around you. Look at how the people around you react to you. Look at how they treat you. Because that could just be a reflection of how being around you has affected them.